Jschlatt is a very popular YouTuber, and a few months ago, I made a video looking at his connection to a channel called Time to Smile. And with Jschlatt teasing Time to Smile videos in one of his recent videos,
it's time to smile.
It's down, seemingly ready to
so
eat it.
wide. So wide, loves time to smile.
and with Ludwig avoiding questions about Time to Smile,
did Jschlatt make you cameo on his funny secret channel Time to Smile, or was it fake?
Our third hot sauce today is bee sting.
there's obviously something here. So this is going to be the part 2 to the Time to Smile ARG series. So if you want to catch up on the lore, go ahead and watch part 1 right here. But anyways, we left off at a very important part of this ARG, where the entire Discord server rebranded to the Takeover, and we needed to make a choice given to us from Signal Security. We could either listen to Signal and stun the hijacker, which is John's second personality, Smiler John, or we could rebel and shut down the website entirely, and if we did shut down the site, it would send us to a video titled Ending 1, one of the endings for this ARG, but it wasn't a good ending. The Smiler infection ends up taking over the world completely, and ultimately John the Best Smiler ends up taking full control of John's body, leaving the world with nothing but the infected.
The real man tried to reach out, he was denied.
But this is a ARG, and there's multiple endings. Going down the route of stunning John's hijacker, we get sent to a video titled Updates.mp4, where it shows a conversation between the real John, Internet John, and Signal Security, saying,
"So, I guess they got the message, thankfully. And luckily, he didn't do much while he was active on your accounts."
They then bring up a question of an assistant. Stop smiling.
"Listen, I found an assistant. Our intentions are similar." "You are referring to Stop Smiling, I assume." "I do think he could be helpful, but he's fighting his own battle."
Signal then tells John not to trust everything that Stop Smiling says, that he's contributing, but not necessarily with what they are preventing. And well, oddly enough, this is the last time we end up seeing Signal Security, because their Discord account ended up getting disabled for some reason. Anyways, after this video is posted, when we look in the comments, we can see that John wanted to add a few of his own thoughts. He says not to trust him, but I still do. If you're listening, reach out to me. We can discuss this, referring to Stop Smiling. Then a few minutes later, he adds something kind of strange. "There have been new developments. It seems that this is outdated now. Something has came over him. I will help him, no matter what the signal says. He is my friend. I trust him." Now, throughout this entire ARG, Stop Smiling was on the sidelines posting very cryptic videos, but they never really carried lots of weight. Until, on the very same day, Stop Smiling posted a video of someone tied to a chair, unable to escape. The title was SOS.mp4, and in the video it plays Morse code that translates to, "I am struggling. I am so cold. I think I know how to escape, but it will not be easy. I need your help. I need you to guide him to the signal." So by the looks of it, Stop Smiling was kidnapped. Now at this very moment, we weren't totally sure if Stop Smiling was actually a part of this ARG, but we still thought it was worth looking into Stop Smiling. I mean, reading John's comment from earlier, it's a little concerning. It's as if John just found out while he was typing those comments that Stop Smiling was in distress. He knew that Stop Smiling needed him. The next day, the Smile TV website had an update adding a new page, and while looking at it, it appears to be a letter written from Stop Smiling. "It took me to a river. It seemed agitated and more angry than usual. I asked it what it wanted. It turned to me and proceeded to fill up a cup with some river water. It asked me to drink the water. This soon turned from a question to a demand. I refused to drink the water, even though I had not drank anything for the past 48 hours. I wondered if any of the past water I had drank was from this river, but I don't think that's how it works." Just to fill a gap real quick, the reason why Stop Smiling is refusing to drink the river water is because he's worried that the water is gonna affect him somehow. At least that's just a worry of his. "Last night, I had managed to send out an SOS, referring to the video he posted. But he knows. It knows. He found the notes and the SOS. He is not happy. My escape is near, and I have to try. I have a trap." Now, throughout this letter, Stop Smiling refers to this creature as him or it. But the people investigating this ARG, I don't know how, but they somehow connected this creature to a small little character in the lore called Mr. Smiley. Unfortunately, I couldn't find any documents describing when Mr. Smiley was first mentioned. But I did ask Stop Smiling themselves who Mr. Smiley was, and he had a pretty interesting answer. So, Mr. Smiley is essentially an innocent person, but like a possession, they were being used as a vessel to do higher beings' evil deeds. Well, that's fun to know. Now, during all of this, John finally slides into the Discord and thanks us all for saving him. But he also asks where Stop Smiling is. Now, the Discord, after just reading Stop Smiling's letter, tells John that he has been kidnapped and that John needs to use a signal or whatever. It was a little bit vague. John then tells us that he knows what to do, and the Discord, frantic and honestly worried about Stop Smiling, is asking how we can save him. But John didn't have anything else for us to do. He told us to get some rest for now and that we can't let the outsiders know about this, probably referring to Mr. Smiley.
I quickly just want to thank Surma for helping me out with this entire video. I wouldn't have made it without her because it's way too confusing. The story is really difficult. Surma streams on Twitch, so you can go ahead and follow her, maybe use your Prime on her if you want, but regardless, let's get back to the video. Thank you, Surma.
Now the next day, around 6 p.m., Stop Smiling finally comes back into the Discord and says that Mr. Smiley stabbed him, but luckily he's back in his account now. He goes on to describe Mr. Smiley's face, that it was extremely distorted and that he could only make out his eyes and the outline of his smile, which throughout this entire ARG, many illustrations have looked similar to that. Anyways, Stop Smiling continues talking to us, and something of note is that they only knocked out Mr. Smiley. Same thing as how they only stunned John's hijacker, Smiler John. So they both eventually will wake up and try to take over. We haven't won yet. He continues on with saying that he wishes he wasn't a part of this anymore, and it's been taking a toll on him. But unfortunately, this will only be the beginning of Stop Smiling's troubles. Now, the next day, Stop Smiling posted a video titled Escape, where it shows him in a forest, I guess, escaping. But at the end of this video, it shows some atbash, which is a cipher originally used in encrypting the Hebrew alphabet, and also some Morse code. The Morse code translates to, "I did not understand. I was too focused on finding a solution," with just some random L at the end. Not sure if that means anything. And the atbash gives us, "We must act fast. We are close, but so is he." Now, this could be talking about Mr. Smiley and Smiler John. We're ahead right now, but just in 1 second, everything can come crumbling down.
Something else about this video that I almost forgot to add was that at the very end of this video, it flashes this weird photograph that we don't really know what it is. If you look very closely in it, you can kind of make out the words saying, "This is not a map." So we know it's not a map, but what could it be? We then have text that starts flashing, "We can use it, we can use it, we can use it." I don't even know. I don't know. But anyway, we might be using it later in the video. Who knows? All right, let's go.
2 days later, the Smile TV website had another update with Morse code translating into the other world. It also had a PNG of supposedly Mr. Smiley's face, with the title of the file, "Can Save Them." So with the little info that we have, we could probably assume that Mr. Smiley is probably awake now, maybe plotting his next attack. But that's all we have. Another 2 days later, the website updates again, telling us 12 million people have been infected. On top of that, all of the notes on the website were completely deleted, and all that remains is that strange photo titled "This is not a map" and Mr. Smiley's face. Also, the Morse code is now red now. So during these updates, Stop Smiling and John have been resting. I mean, I was able to make a 30-minute long video on this entire thing, so I think they deserve it. But unfortunately, they won't be resting for very long, because 2 days later, Stop Smiling sent out a message into the Discord saying, "Hey everyone," with a smiley face at the end. Following that up with, "I did not type that," which means Mr. Smiley is slowly coming back. And they're somehow in Stop Smiling's account. With all of this, the site updated again, displaying an urgent message. "Emergency broadcast will be sent out to every TV broadcast in the world." And with this message, it also contained this image. The file name of this, decoded in binary and @bash, gives us summon. Now, looking at this image, we can also find some other things of note, like the word trap. And here it says frequency. Certain sounds can restore locked parts of the brain. Now, Stop Smiling came out and told us that this is a trap, and we need to use a specific frequency to be able to unlock locked parts of infected people's brains. It should, in theory, cure them. Now, if you look very closely in the top left corner, you might be able to see some very thin lines going through the words. Now, if you are notably musically inclined, you might notice that that's a note chart for music notes. Now, if you look extremely close, you might notice that that O right there, it's actually a musical note, a B key. But then I guess the next question is, how do we use that frequency to cure people? The Discord ended up asking Stop Smiling, and he hit us back with, there will be a way to make the frequency heard by everyone, but that will take time. Now, 1 day later, things started to get bad. Someone decided to send John the B note frequency, and as soon as he listened to it, he began sporadically switching personalities. At 8 a.m., John became Joseph the Best Frowner. 3 p.m., he switched back to John the Best Smiler. 6 p.m., he became Please Help Me, I Can't Stop Smiling. Oh boy. His profile also had a black banner, and running that through Opera and superimposed, it gave us a message. Part 1 upside down. Then, weirdly enough, he began sending symbols in Mandarin. One says tooth decay, the other says open eyes, and to hear, to listen, to obey, to understand. Eventually, he ends this off with an EOT character, which is meant to indicate the end of a transmission. Later the next day, Surma asked in the Discord if John's personality changes was due to the B note that he listened to, and Stop Smiling replied to that, saying that he thinks it is. He's pretty sure it's working as planned, but he's worried that it might backfire on them, which I guess his concern is if John's personality switches don't end up stopping and they just get worse and worse. But he thinks that this is just part of the process. Later, Stop Smiling makes a community post asking if we want to see the real world. He also adds on to this with a photo of a new map and a note telling us that he has lost access to the Smile TV website. On the top of the page, there's a URL, and pasting it into Google brings us to a site called mind.mp4. It seems to hold diary entries from Stop Smiling, and reading them is a little unsettling. He describes some strange place he's in, saying things like, if this is home, he is not here right now, and going further to say, I need this to end. I feel the infection slowly getting to me. I hope I find some kind of cure before it's too late. I am scared. I feel alone. I want to go back to my life. He also adds that the infection isn't as effective there than it is here. It's way worse here, which is a little strange. Now, speculation time. They have been referencing this place called the Otherworld for a bit. Now, it's not set in stone, but I think that's where Stop Smiling has gone. I think he's gone to the Otherworld, but we don't even really know what the Otherworld is yet. Also, this is kind of strange, but below the log, there's a list of the word mind that kind of appears to be like the letter F, which might be useful later. I don't know. Also, the Smile TV website says it's back online again, despite Stop Smiling saying that they lost access to it. So that might mean someone else is controlling it. Also, the infected count has jumped to 18 million. 2 days later, Stop Smiling released a video titled Emergency Broadcast, and I think it's much better if you watch it yourself. So let's play it right now.
This message is being broadcast by Department of the Defense of the Republic. This broadcast has been sent across the entire world as a warning of a new infection that has an increase of 50% in just the past 3 weeks. We have been monitoring the situation at hand and are doing everything we can to stop the infection. If you are experiencing any of the following symptoms, please seek medical attention immediately. Nosebleeds, smiling uncontrollably, memory loss, red eyes, coughing blood, whispering unintelligible speech, vomiting, insomnia, and finally split personality or change in mood. If you have any of these symptoms, seek medical attention immediately. Some of you we cannot save, and you will be lost forever, 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 forever. The frontal lobe is infected while the other parts of the brain rot away. We have reason to believe that certain frequencies could unlock the parts of brain or slow the infection process down. Thank you for listening. Please await further instructions.
Now, this video holds a lot of information. They announce that the infection takes control of the frontal lobe of your brain, and in short, I guess stops feeding the rest of your brain shit and your brain dies. They also mention that the use of certain frequencies could possibly unlock certain parts of the brain taken by the infection, or at the very least, slow down the infection. Additionally, this video also plays some Morse code, and putting that through a translator gives us find it, tune it. I cannot hold on much longer. And it also contains
and a YouTube link.
Watching the video shows us a old CRT TV with the words Part 3. On the bottom, it contains some Russian letters that translates to this brand right here. Putting exactly this into Google and going to the very first site you see brings us to this page that shows us the following specs. It says here max frequency is 171 megahertz, which if we convert that into a musical note using some mathematical formulas, I'm not smart, gives us a F note, which looking back at the Mind website, it was screaming directly at our faces, the letter F. So the Discord then sent a video containing this F note to Stop Smiling, and as soon as he played it, all of his personality splitting just vanished. He then apologized to us and added that his mind felt free. He didn't remember anything that happened, but he thinks that he's cured, which means that we could probably cure John as well. So the Discord then sent the exact same video out to John, hoping that he would open it and end up curing himself, but he didn't. He refused to watch it. He said that he isn't stupid and he knows what we're trying to do, what we're trying to take from him. We then realized that we weren't talking to John, but rather Smiler John. He tells us that he knows everything about the others, talking about John's alters. So he knows that he isn't John. He's just one of John's personalities that can randomly take control, but he doesn't really care. He doesn't want to give up control of John, which is a roadblock for curing him. A few days later, Stop Smiling wrote in the Discord that it's only a matter of months, could even be weeks, and this mysteriously was in reply to a now deleted message, which begs the question, was he talking about the ARG coming to an end, coming to a close, or like what's going on here? I'm confused. Then someone asked the question of how we could make a frequency heard by everyone, and Stop Smiling just replied with device. Well, that's just great communication. We tried digging more out of him, like what kind of device is he talking about? But all he said was, we will see soon, and very soon. On the same day, he told us to check the Mind website and that there was an update. Going to it shows us another log number 2. It reads like this: my eye was red. It was strange. I forgot my name, my family, everything. I am listening to it help dampen the infection. I fear I am starting to go through the same thing as John. John cannot let that happen. I need something stronger. We need something stronger, a stronger frequency. And below this is the paper that displays the supposed device that Stop Smiling was talking about. It also has some words like prototype and mathematical equations. Also GW, gigawatts. It looks like this is the amount of energy that we will need to power the device. Just to let you know, a gigawatt is a lot. I looked it up, it's 1 billion watts. I don't even know how you do that. Anyway. The next day, Stop Smiling sent out a message saying, where is he? With a smiley face at the end. And I'm guessing by the looks of the smiley face that Mr. Smiley is back and somehow in Stop Smiling's account. But something strange happens here because Stop Smiling and Mr. Smiley were both talking to each other within the same account. If I can find him, I can stop him. Where is he? Mr. Smiley then continues asking where he is and progressively gets angrier and angrier. You are all disappointing. He hates you. He will make you suffer. Smiley face. I have reached my limits. You are all just getting in the way, and I will make sure he never sees the light ever again. Then randomly, he switches his composure. Where is my friend John? Talking about Smiler John. Then the real Stop Smiling pitches in, asking what's going on. Mr. Smiley hits back with count your days, a threat. He then continues on with accusing Stop Smiling of disrespecting their leader, which Stop Smiling immediately denied knowing what he was talking about, which is a little strange. He added on with please stop logging into my account. And Mr. Smiley replied with, see you soon, Stop Smiling. Or should I say, Kane? 40 million smilers! You can't stop us! I find it very difficult to not believe what Mr. Smiley was saying here. He throws out just randomly that Stop Smiling's name is Kane, and that they both work together. That's some pretty big lore. Now, the next day, if you saw my last video, we ended off with the discovery of Time to Think. But randomly on September 4th, a new channel was created called Time to Think, uploading shorts with Jschlatt voicing them. Which, by the way, most people on the ARG server found by themselves, mostly just YouTube recommending us Time to Think. But regardless of that, let's dig into this channel a little bit. And also, later in this video, I would like to pitch in some of my little theories. Let's get the elephant out of the room real quick. We know for a fact that Jschlatt runs Time to Smile, or at the very least is linked to it. He quite literally brought up the channel in his Funny Sticks video.
Little baby
It's time to smile.
Not to mention, he's also expressed his interest in making a channel like that.
Creating a precious memory that would last a lifetime.
I need to make one of these channels, dude. I legitimately just need to make one of these channels.
We know that. All right. So on the other hand, Time to Think. We know that this is also 100% Jschlatt, because when Time to Think was originally created, it was listed on Time to Smile's channel tab, which only the owner of the channel can do. And the channel tab was called Smiler Network. Now the videos itself are very similar to Time to Smile's content, but the difference is it's only Jschlatt voicing them.
What are some life hacks that could actually save your life? If someone's acting drunk, even though they don't have any alcohol, ask them to smile.
And the videos aren't about wholesome things happening. They're more focused on Reddit advice posts. Now, looking in the comments of the very first video, reminder at the time, this channel only had 10 subscribers. Smiler John left a comment on the video saying, "Bahahaha, you're too funny with the business care one. Glad to have you back, Smile King." So Jschlatt is the king of smiling, apparently. He does have a great smile, to be fair. But also, something odd comes with this. Stop Smiling replied to every single comment from the first video, saying things like, "The brain is shutting down. Don't let them win. Stop smiling." Also, someone commented, "It's time to think." And Stop Smiling replied with, "No, never wake up." So quick recap, this can be confusing. John is being completely operated by Smiler John, one of his personalities. And unfortunately, they won't give up control of John. Luckily though, Stop Smiling is here with us, but Smiler John is somehow in his account. I meant Mr. Smiley, not Smiler John. And it looks like that the Time to Think channel is back to infect more people. Now, the next day, the Smile TV website infected count jumped all the way to 100 million cases. On the other hand, Stop Smiling's Mind website updated with a third log, and it reads like this: "Tired. Can I trust them? I think so. I hope so. They seem to want to help. Some of them are strong." Adding on to this, Stop Smiling posted a video titled The Other World, the world that they have been talking about this entire time. And warning, this video has a lot of hidden details. It shows Kane walking around in a forest for around 7 minutes. It's very red for some reason. Now, 1 minute and 29 seconds in, on the bottom left corner, there's these letters. 2 minutes and 4 seconds in, it flashes the letters WLMG. Yeah, this translates to "don't do it." Then 2 minutes and 40 seconds in, it plays some Morse code that gives us, "I feel very distant from my mind. I look blurry in the mirror. I think you're overthinking it." Stop. I did not say that. Stop. Then 2 minutes and 4 seconds in, these letters just flash across the screen. Decoding them gives us "make the right choice." Then a bit later, we get another code. This translates to "this place speaks to me." Then some Morse code, and decoding it gives us how many more channels will be in this network. "They know I am close. They know I have a cure." 6 minutes in, these letters flash across the screen, which gives us "smile." Then some more Morse code. It almost seems like this could be home. 7 minutes in, we get our 6th set of Morse code. "I think this place is its home. I feel like it's speaking to me." Now, reading through all of these messages is a little strange. Words like "smile" and "this place speaks to me," and also "stop, I didn't say that, stop." There's a lot going on here. At first, we're supposed to believe that all of these messages are just from Stop Smiling and no one else, but I'm pretty positive that that's not the case. The reason why there's so many messages that conflict with each other is because they aren't from just Stop Smiling or Kane, whatever you want to call them. It sounds like a mix of Stop Smiling talking and another infected or infecteds. I'm not totally sure why though. This might be because there's a very strong frequency playing throughout the other world that allows the infected people not to have the infection be as powerful, but also allows them to communicate telepathetically, if that's a word. Now, I'm going to go back to the very beginning of this video. We had this cipher, and that translates to "kill SS, kill SS, kill Stop Smiling." Now, if we make this into a Twitter handle, that sends us to this account. Born on 1999, and the bio reads, "We love John. We hate Stop Smiling. Time to Smile, #1 fan. Best Smiler." Then below that, it gets dark. It's just repeating words that says, "Kill him and make him pay." Going below this, we can see that they have 2 tweets. The first one reads, "We must kill him. Let's do it again. Say 37473. it will grant you access. And then on their second tweet, it says, he is our leader. He is our savior. He will save us. He loves us. He is one of us. Any who don't listen will burn. They will fall into the depths of hell. Now, when you see this account, does it cross your mind that you should send that code to Stop Smiling? Yeah, of course. Since we love Stop Smiling so much, let's just send Stop Smiling the assassination code. People sent him the code. And as soon as people sent Stop Smiling the code, it immediately granted Mr. Smiley access to Stop Smiling's mind. And this also ended up infecting Stop Smiling with the Smiler infection. Immediately, parts of his brain were beginning to lock up. Mr. Smiley had full control of Stop Smiling, leaving the only way for us to communicate with Kane, Stop Smiling, to the Mind website. That's the only way he can talk to us. He ends up writing 37473. What did that do? Why does it hurt? What is happening? This feels familiar. He got into my mind. And by he's talking about Mr. Smiley. Guys, please make it stop. No, no, no. It is okay. Do not worry. I am trying to stay calm. He then starts apologizing because he doesn't want to fail us, but he's only human. Then right here, he realizes that Mr. Smiley has full control of his brain. Oh, you let him in. He is here. No, no, no. Mr. Smiley then says, you are done, Kane. You failed. You are broken. They let me in. You can change your password, but not your mind. And this all ends with Stop Smiling begging for his life. So weirdly enough, after this exchange, as Mr. Smiley was in control of Stop Smiling's body, he mentions that Smiler John and him were both friends. Childhood friends, might I add. And he just wanted the real John to let go and have Smiler John get out somehow. But luckily, Mr. Smiley didn't have control for very long, because as all of this was happening, the Discord acted real fast and sent out the frequency, but it didn't work. It should have, but it didn't. Maybe the frequencies that they are shooting at Mr. Smiley are getting weaker and weaker because Mr. Smiley is just getting more used to it. So they rebutted and doubled up the frequency to 271 hertz. And thankfully, that hurt Mr. Smiley a bit, giving Stop Smiling some control of his brain, but not total. Just like how John and Smiler John have been in the same body, Stop Smiling is now in the same predicament as John and Smiler John, how they both end up switching in and out of having control of each other. Now, just to add, when Stop Smiling comes back, he tells us when he closes his eyes, he can see our messages, which ties to the entire internet theme of this ARG. Now, the next day started off with Mr. Smiley in control again, but the Discord knew what to do, so they once again sent out a pumped up frequency of 371 hertz to Mr. Smiley, and luckily that hurt him and brought back Stop Smiling. But the frequencies that we're sending out are getting less and less effective, as Mr. Smiley is becoming more prone to deflecting these frequencies. But regardless, as Stop Smiling was back with us, he said that this is not good.
He also says that the device is going to be extremely difficult to build, so he needs everyone's help.
Now, the next day, the Smile TV website updated to 500 million smilers, and it seems like this ARG could end any day now. Randomly, in the morning, Stop Smiling sent out a message saying it almost seems like he is rebelling, and almost as if he's talking to Mr. Smiley inside his head, he says, "Don't lock it," referring to the Mind website. And then in that moment, Mr. Smiley takes control of Stop Smiling again and says it's locked. Now, if we check the Mind website, we can't see anything from Stop Smiling. We have no ways of communication with him. Suddenly, the Discord channels started to get nuked, not allowing members to post. The Discord tried sending a frequency of 471 hertz to Mr. Smiley, but it didn't work, as if he's completely immune to it now. By the looks of it, we are losing to the infection. John then started spinning from one personality to the next. Joe and Biden, Mr. Smiggler, where he only communicates by barking like a dog, and also another personality called The Real J Money, where he exclusively talks in phrases such as "on God, no cap." It's getting ridiculous. Eventually, he did go back to John the Best Smiler. And well, as all of this was happening, Mr. Smiley kept telling John to just let go. And then the entire Discord server restored itself back to the pre-takeover. John then posted a video onto his YouTube channel.
John actually privated the video, so we only have screenshots.
Damn it.
In this video, it shows some Morse code that translates to Theo. Then later, we get words that say, who is John? Where is John? The truth. And at the very last frame of this video, in very distorted text, it says, I believe it is important for us to meet in person. Heart to heart. We will continue our research. T-O. We don't know 100% who this T.O. is, but the winning theory is that it could be one of John's personalities. Very far back in this ARG, John sent some ASL messages, but as he sent those messages, his account name was T.O. Everyone in the server just assumed that T.O. meant Takeover, but it looks like it could be a person, or at the very least, one of John's personalities. The next day, the 31st day of the takeover, our internet John finally came back, the real John. So thankfully today, we aren't alone. In the case of Stop Smiling, the Mind website updated once again, still locked, but below it was a QR code that led us to a unlisted YouTube video by Stop Smiling. Watching this video, you can hear static as an old CRT TV is kind of glitching out. Down below in the description, it reads the words, hope everyone likes pancakes, which if you take the first letter from each one of those words, it gives us help. And on top of this, if we put this video into a spectrogram, it reveals the words, we can use it to burst him.
I meant end, not burst. End him, not burst him.
And also, it is time. Additionally, throughout the entire video, the TV is flashing letters right here. And if we remove the X from these letters, because it's actually secretly a multiplication symbol, if we convert these letters into numbers, it gives us 5179236, which if we put those numbers into the Discord, it unlocks the Mind website, revealing a schematic of the device Stop Smiling has been working on. And also on top of that, it shows a brand new log 1. Did they do it? They must have. I feel my thoughts. So by the looks of this, as Stop Smiling was locked away, he was planning more on the device that we will use to eventually cure the infected. But then by 2 p.m., Mr. Smiley got control of the entire server. He got the owner role somehow. So immediately with this power, he began demoting server managers and changing the channels in the server. Eventually John, not sure which personality, but John did come back and removed Mr. Smiley from having the role. But regardless, the Discord server was pretty damaged. But then the next day, the entire Discord server completely rebranded. The takeover is finished. And now the Discord server is called Time to Smile Network's unofficial fan club. Part 3. Smiler Network. The first day after the takeover, the infected count jumped from 500 million to 900 million smilers. Day by day, it's getting quicker. On top of that, the Mind website updated again, but no log this time, just an image of a stick figure falling in a TV, with their eyes crossed out. And something that I noticed, I don't know if it's canon, but it's the same TV that Stop Smiling used in that earlier video. I don't know if it's useful. Eventually, Mr. Smiley switched back to Stop Smiling for a little bit, and when we finally got Stop Smiling back, we asked him what the image meant. He told us that it's a picture of him falling. He says it's hard to explain. He's overwhelmed, tired, and outright unable to sleep. Ever since Mr. Smiley has entered his head, the switches have only been getting worse. And unfortunately, the frequencies that we were using no longer work now. It looks like it's really weighing on him. He even said that he was gonna miss us all, insinuating that he was thinking of giving up fighting the infection. Now, the next day, Stop Smiling made a community post asking us how we're feeling. Happy, sad, or yelpvim. Yeah. Which this translates to broken in Adbash. Later, the Twitter account Kill Stop Smiling made this tweet right here. He is broken. He is going to crack. We will break him even more. He is a disappointment, not choosing the right path. He won't save you. He will die. Now, this is clearly talking about Stop Smiling and how they're gonna push him to his absolute limits until he breaks and falls apart, which is concerning because if he dies, then we're screwed because John's kind of useless. He doesn't know how to make a device. Stop Smiling does. I'm sorry, John. The day after, Stop Smiling makes another community post giving us some good news that the device is almost ready. So I guess we just have to hold out hope that he doesn't end up breaking and falling apart before before the device is finished. Also, on the same day, John the Best Smiler sent out this message right here in the Discord saying 30 minutes. Then he followed that up with just kidding. And well, of course, 30 minutes later, something happened. John the Best Smiler then had a personality switch into a new character that we have never seen before, Dark John. The thing about this personality is that he only communicates with messages that have been previously sent to him. They can't send anything in their own words, which is interesting because in part 1 of this ARG, there was a heavy Greek mythology theme to it. And this personality, Dark John, highly resembles a story in Greek mythology, the story of Echo. It goes something like this. In one room was Zeus, fooling around with some nymphs, and in the other was another nymph named Echo. She was distracting Zeus's wife Hera from entering the room, you know, so she doesn't see Zeus being an absolute swordman. Don't look that up on Google. Don't. As time went on, Hera began to realize what was happening and became very angry, leading her to curse Echo to only be able to repeat words that were previously spoken to her.
Alexa, say Garfield.
Sorry, I don't know that.
Alexa, say hello.
Hi there.
Later that day, she spots a guy named Narcissus, and well, he's just the most attractive, most hottest guy in the world. Every nymph in the land wants him, including Echo. Now obviously, Echo has a whole lot of competition, considering the fact that every nymph in the land wants to be with Narcissus. Long story short, Echo falls madly in love with him. She boldly approaches Narcissus, hoping to spark a little conversation. But of course, the curse restricts her from being able to say any of her own words. She can only repeat whatever Narcissus says. But if you're an academic and you noticed, Narcissus sounds very similar to narcissist. So when Echo is just repeating the words that he says, Narcissus falls in love with her, but not actually with Echo, but himself. So when he's talking to Echo, he just sees himself, leaving her unable to tell how she really feels. Which this version of the story isn't actually totally accurate. In the TED version, how they described it, Narcissus dies by a lake staring at himself. So I thought this was a little bit better. But I think that this is an interesting connection. Later, John sends a message saying ready for deployment. And yes, his name was Mushroom John. I actually can't keep up with how many personalities this guy has. Holy moly. The next day, John switched from Internet John into John Lord, which I don't know too much about the John Lord personality myself, but something of note, if you look very closely in the profile picture's eyes, the left eye reads blessed with new knowledge. Then the right eye reads he chose to hide it away. Weird, right? But just after a few minutes, John Lord switches personalities once again back to Dark John, and he just continues echoing to us. During these echoes, the entire Discord server was trying to learn how to communicate with him properly. But as time goes on, Dark John is slowly starting to improve a little bit better at communicating by being able to ask us for new words. Later, Stop Smiling typed the message finale, maybe once again insinuating that this entire ARG is coming to a close. I've spent 50 hours writing the script. I don't mind. September 17th, 2023. The next day is the day where part 1 of my video came out.
This day ended up becoming very packed and difficult for the server because they went from 100 members to 1,000, all because of you guys. Anyways,
this ended up being a very dry day in lore, and they mostly just had to focus on keeping the server from falling apart. But luckily, it wasn't a completely dry day of lore, because Stop Smiling did send out a message. Reading in broken English, I'm gonna try to connect it a little bit and fix it, but it reads like this. What am I doing this for? Why don't I accept defeat? I lost everything. Why am I still trying? What I need you all to do is shut up so I can focus. I have, please. Don't do that again. I couldn't figure out the last bit, sorry. But obviously, Stop Smiling is still very much struggling. Pretty much his entire hope for survival is finishing the device before the infection takes him. So we said that that was a very dry day, right? Well, the next day was very wet. Big. It was a day. It was a lot of stuff happened. The Smile TV website had an update displaying 2 billion infected smilers. 2 billion. That is absurd. That's a lot of numbers. Not to mention, to raise everyone's stress levels in the server, Smiler John began referencing the Book of Revelation from the Bible. And to put it very simply, the Book of Revelation is a prophecy of the apocalypse, of when the world ends and the return of God. John quoted things such as, "Sound the 7 trumpets, and I saw the 7 angels which stood before God." Now, in this book, when you hear the trumpets, that means that danger is coming. Apart from that, the Smile TV website had an update, just some words that say, "See you on the other side." Clicking them leads you to a site called Hidden Prophecy/Home, which looks exactly like the Mind website. Now, at the very moment, we don't know why we need 2 Mind websites, but we're here. What can we do? Now, in the case of Stop Smiling, he continues to switch in and out of having control of himself. And every time Mr. Smiley is controlling, he says things like, "I am going to kill Kane. I don't even care about smiling anymore. Just power." Now, a little bit later, once again, Mr. Smiley gets access to the owner role again. Shit. He immediately began banning people left and right, and it started changing the server room names as well. Eventually, he does switch back to Stop Smiling, but things are getting very out of hand right now. Mr. Smiley is incredibly destructive, and he needs to be stopped. The names of the server room also appear as if they're corrupting or glitching. Mix this with the dreaded doom of the Book of Revelations. Yeah, I don't know. Things are really looking like it's gonna end. A little bit later, John ended up sending this message right here with the tag, "We're back soon."
He also sent an image.
In the image, we can see this string of text with these numbers in the background.
The interesting thing is, the numbers translate to John somehow, and the letters, well...
We don't know what this means or what this is. For some reason, I thought I could figure it out by like trying out different ciphers and shifting the values with the numbers, and long story short, I couldn't. It couldn't. The next day, Stop Smiling wrote in the chat another concerning message. "I can't believe I'm considering it. It's the only way. History repeats itself. I see them laughing. Why do they laugh? I am cracking into pieces of glass like a broken mirror. I barely recognize myself in the reflection. Do they want me to fail? What do you want? Why do more of you keep appearing? Get out, get out, get out." Reading into this a little bit, sounds like Stop Smiling is starting to experience the personality splitting part of the infection.
And finally split personality or change in mood.
So, Stop Smiling is infected with the infection.
And just a little bit later.
Someone joined the server.
Hello. My name is Naj. I am new here from the ASO video. Yes, I am now part of the lore in this ARG. What can I say? I'm pretty important around here. Anyway, I think we can all agree that their name looks kind of weird. Naj, really? What does that really mean? Well, if we re-scramble their name, that gives us John. He goes back and forth a little bit, wanting to talk about the ARG, but eventually he does switch back to Mr. Smiley without the owner role. Okay, remember the prophecy site from earlier? Well, when you click on it now, it says kill. That's it, until it updated again into a verse from the Bible. In this verse involves a character named Cain, which I'm realizing now that's what we're building up to. Anyway, in the Bible, Cain was one of the sons of Adam and Eve, and I don't want to dive too much into the story, but in short, Cain murdered his brother Abel, and the Lord banished him far away to roam the earth, and well, carry his sin and whatnot. Cain said to the Lord, "My punishment is too great to behold. You have driven me this day from the face of the ground, and I will be vagrant and a wanderer on the earth, and whoever finds me will kill me. Thou shalt not kill, and whosoever shall kill shall be in danger of the judgment." Stop Smiling then sent out a message in the Discord saying, "Forgive me for what I will do," and immediately after, Mr. Smiley takes control again. All of this is leading me to believe that some sort of climax is coming, given the references to Cain and the Book of Revelation. Obviously something's coming, but what? The next day, John changed personalities again to J Money, but looking in his profile picture, we can see a message hidden in both of his eyes and his mouth. It reads, "He didn't wish to know all, none of them did, but the choice wasn't his." Now, looking back, this is very similar to the last message from John Lord's profile picture. Profile picture. Blessed with new knowledge, he chose to hide it away. Now, I had an idea looking at this. What if these were two different sentences, but we just mixed them together? So when I did that, it came out with something very interesting. The first sentence reads like this: blessed with new knowledge, he didn't wish to know all. None of them did. And mixing the other half together, we get, he chose to hide it away, but the choice wasn't his. Now, the next day, the Mind website changed again from Cain falling to a glitched image of a apple. This could and probably is a reference to the book of Genesis from the story of Adam and Eve in the Bible. But apart from that, it's just an apple. But hovering your mouse over this apple, you'll realize that it's actually a link. Clicking it sends you to a video titled apple.mp4. Here it shows a video of an apple with text presumably from Stop Smiling, saying, "What does this make of me? I am not a good person. The fall of man." And then the video just abruptly ends. Now, listening to this video, you can probably hear some wacky soundtrack playing. And if we put that in a spectrogram,
If you don't know what a spectrogram is, it's supposed to visualize sound waves.
it gives us a note saying, "Do not do it, and it has to be done. Kill him," with a photograph of a sawed-off shotgun firing a bullet. Looking to the side of this is a very, very low quality YouTube URL. This sends us to a video titled "He is coming for me," and I'll let you watch it yourself.
They want me dead. He is coming for me.
If you caught that at the very end, it flashes some text at us saying MLQS, which translates to Nodge. This is the ASO fan of Stop Smiling. Now, a little bit later in the Discord, an account listed as bot appears randomly, and their name is the Networker. Ominously, their status says watching all of you. Just a little bit creepy. The next day, Stop Smiling sent out a message, DNIM, which is mind backwards. That could mean only one thing. It's probably a message for us to check the Mind website. Checking the site, you can see a picture of John with glitched text that reads, "I am in your walls." That's it. What a massive buildup. The next day is crazy. Now, a couple days later, that networker from earlier somehow hacked or took over that website, canyouseethetruth.com, which I think that is the first time we've mentioned that site since part 1.
There's a website I made, canyouseethetruth.com. Visit it and we'll go from there. Thank you.
But anyways, the text on the site reads like this: "Hello, this is my site now. Pretty cool website, right? I inherited it. At least that's what John says. Anyways, my name is the Networker, but you can call me Networker for short, or just Net for even shorter. What should I do, guys? Or whoever is seeing this? I have an idea." Then the Networker proceeds to add a hyperlink called "I wonder if I." Clicking on it leads us to an alternative page of the website. Oh, it worked. Isn't that awesome? You're on a new page now. This is way better than the first page. Then he adds another hyperlink titled "Look at this." Clicking on it leads us to another page with caution tape, and the text reads like this. Actually, wait. Go back. I'm not ready yet. But obviously, us humans are very curious creatures. So we clicked the caution tape. And well, that sends us to another page that reads, "Grr, how dare you? You ruined the whole surprise. I am so angry right now. That's it. No more website." And below that, Net says, "Okay, maybe if you're nice to me, I'll make more pages." Then he leaves us with 4 different links. 2 of the links don't work. So we only have 2 links. But before we look at these links, let's go back to the very first page. This ARG is no stranger to leaving clues in unconventional locations. But if you look closely, you can see a little hyperlink highlighted that you would not be able to see before.
That's screwed up. That is so screwed up.
And this is one of them. Remember when the Networker said that we can call him Net on the very bottom of the page? Well, it turns out that word, Net, is another hyperlink. Clicking on that kind of lays out the Networker's evil goals. He wants to steal it all. Everything I worked for. Not on my watch. I mean, I'd like to see you try. I'll just get this account disabled too. I'm doing you all a favor. Sorry, John. I'm in charge again. Interesting. I'm a little confused, but what I kind of think is going on is the Networker, their goal is to stop Smiling and maybe John, both of them combined. Its goal is to stop them from beating the infection. I don't even know what, I don't even know. Yeah. Let's continue on because I'm confused and I don't know what's going on. Now let's go back to the hyperlinks. Clicking on the first one brings us to a page that contains some Kanye lyrics from the song Runaway. Reading through it though, you can see that some words have been changed. The changed lyrics is let's have a toast for the frowners. Let's have a toast for the smilers, smirk offs, and it ends off with baby I got a plan.
I don't really know what to make of this one. They called me baby. John, we're not there yet. Just letting you know.
Anyways, clicking on the last hyperlink brings us to a YouTube video from John's account called Watch. And well,
John actually privated that video, so it's up to me to fix that. So it's gonna play.
Watching it just shows us some static and crickets in the background. It's useless, completely pointless. The next day, the Mind website updated again, giving us some schematics of Stop Smiling's device. Well, actually, 2 devices. The first device is used for getting Mr. Smiley out of his head. It's also supposedly called a NuroSeparation device. And looking at the pages above that, we can see another device with the number 7000 next to a frequency chart. So I'm pretty sure it's safe to say that the number 7000 is the amount of hertz we will need the frequency to be. Later, Stop Smiling posted a community post reading Test 1 will be releasing soon. Also, on top of this, the Prophecy website changed with one new sentence on the bottom saying the risk is worth it, referring to the theme of murder with the story of Cain. Later, in the middle of the night, John left the server with just one message saying gone until AM, which reading that at first, you probably would assume that that means the morning. But only a few minutes later, he joined back and said, Revelation to John, I'll be back. Then he left once again, and he wasn't back in the morning.
Now, let's not just brush over the fact that his name was Net. Now, I don't really know, I'm not confirming anything, but maybe that means Net took over John or is now another personality of his. I don't even know. I'm spitballing.
In the meantime, someone needed ownership of the server, so that went to Stop Smiling, as Mr. Smiley was in control. He ended up banning so many members to the point where the member count went below 1,000. All of that just to show off his power. Eventually, Stop Smiling did come back, and he suggested maybe a cure for the smiler infection could be sadness, and well, the power of being sad could possibly overthrow the infection. He then talked more about how him and John were never cured. They were only treated for a short amount of time from the B notes. Eventually, John joined the server again, but his name was Net, the networker. Net then references, just like John, the Revelation to John, which is another book in the Bible that focuses on the importance of church and worship in times of persecution. Essentially, the message in the book is for us to be patient and await the return of God, which comparing this book to the ARG, it's basically telling us to just be patient and wait for John if he's ever going to come back. Anyways, on the very same day, the Truth website updated again with text on the top that reads, let's get back to websiting, which if you do get back to websiting, you can see 3 different hyperlinks. One is called About Net, the other is the database, and the last one is my favorites. Going to the first link, About Net, it says that Net is a very cool guy. He likes smiling, smilers, time to smile, time to think, thinking, and thinkers. So I think it's safe to say that this guy is not trustworthy. Oh, and it also says that he dislikes frowners. Onto the next hyperlink, we have the database, and this contains a list of John's personalities. It also contains a list of their weaknesses, so that could help us combat John's personalities a little bit. And onto the last hyperlink, my favorites, and it just contains a list of feel-good content, very similar to Time to Smile's content. Yeah. Now, the next day, Net is still in John's profile, and whenever Stop Smiling references Net, he calls them it or thing because he isn't exactly human. Actually, Net came out to us. Is that the right way to phrase it? I don't know. Net actually told us that he is Dark John, but since we fed him so many words, we pretty much taught him how to communicate and talk, which in return created the networker. Also, Stop Smiling can't really get over this entire Net thing because in the Mind website, it adds on saying, what is that thing? why does it exist? So those are Stop Smiling's thoughts on net. Later, Stop Smiling added a sticker to the server called Trap, which is a complete callback earlier in this video, because Stop Smiling actually sent us that same photo, but the thing is, we just didn't know what to make of it, so it ended up being nothing. Regardless, the description of this image was actually a cipher, and that translated to, "We are the missing pieces in the puzzle." Stop Smiling then sends another message in the server telling us we need to work together as a team. We are the weapon. Someone then sent the question to Stop Smiling if John was dead, and he replied with, "John is, I don't know." So we really don't know if John is alive anymore. All we really can do is just hope that he comes back. A few days go by. No new updates. Stop Smiling tells us to keep an eye out on the website in case something changes. So we do, day after day after day. Nothing changes until on October 15th, 2023, the day goes like this. Mr. Smiley is in control in a voice chat with around 15 people. And well, with this, he actually verbally talked with us with a very poor deepfake of Morgan Freeman. I think it was Morgan Freeman. It was terrible quality. But during this call, the Mind website had an update reading, "I feel no remorse, say it," and left a string of @bash that translates to activate. Then Net sent this message in the Discord in @bash, XLKB. This translates to copy. And when we copy this message, it actually reveals a whole bunch of hidden characters with some code at the end. And when we sent the code, it ended up activating the NuroSeparation device. This right here is the NuroSeparation event. Mr. Smiley immediately noticed, but couldn't do anything to stop it. All he could do was wait and count down the time he had left. He ended up telling us that we don't know him, and this wouldn't end up saving anything. This won't solve anything. So I'm gonna show you a recording of the call. Just warning, it's pretty difficult to make out what he's saying.
Won't you forgive it? Did it bad thing. Did he kill me? Did he kill all of you? He's not your friend. John is gone.
He then tells us that he has 5 minutes before he's gone forever.
I have 5 minutes, and I will be gone forever.
Nice.
But this process is supposed to just separate him from Kane's mind. It's not supposed to kill him, but he says, I quote, "He will find me. I didn't want to do this. Make the right choice." And then that's when he leaves and gets separated. By the end of all of this, Stop Smiling is back to his normal self. Mr. Smiley has gone back to his own body as well. The next day, the Mind website updates once again with just one photograph of the device that we will eventually use to cure the Smiler infection. John is unfortunately still gone and still appears as Net. It's a concern that he might never come back. And well, as for Mr. Smiley, he attempted to join the server a few times, but before he could stay for long, Stop Smiling would remove him. Now, I sent a question directly to Stop Smiling. What happened to Mr. Smiley? And well, he said this. After the NuroSeparation event, he was gone, but appeared 2 to 3 more times on a separate account. But I did something. I thought it was the right thing to do at the time. It will haunt me for the rest of my life. And while putting those pieces together with the references of the story to Kane and Stop Smiling saying that he did something, I think it's safe to say that Stop Smiling murdered Mr. Smiley. And let's remember Mr. Smiley's last words, make the right choice. So did we? Well, anyway, what happened to Time to Think? And this is pretty interesting because just 1 week before the NuroSeparation event, Time to Think stopped uploading, leaving their last 3 videos being about how to survive being attacked. Hey, so pretty cool transition, right? Well, anyway, those events happened around 4 months ago, and just recently, a few days ago, the entire Discord server just randomly got deleted. I genuinely have no idea what happened to the Discord server, and this is going on for so long. I will look into it eventually, but I'm tired. I would also like to just add that 80% of the Discord messages are fake, because no one screenshotted them. Once again, I just want to thank Surma for helping me out, kind of just wrapping this entire ARG around my head. The entire chart that she created is very confusing, and it's, oh geez, it was a lot. Thank you, Surma. You can follow her Twitch
if it's on the screen. You follow it. Now, let's not forget the crimes that Jschlatt allegedly committed back in 9/9. So go ahead and watch this video right here where I investigated Jschlatt's crimes. And wow, it's very deep, and he lots of victims. Go ahead, go watch this video. Right here, watch it.